fans of high quality entertainment and my Patreon members. So I'm talking about a speech that Rick Wakeman of Yes, the keyboardist, did at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017. And on Patreon I'll show the clip, but you can easily just see the clip on YouTube. I'll have a description I'll have a pinned comment with the link for it here on YouTube. I know that Steve Howe of Yes, the guitarist, the awesome guitarist, doesn't always have the greatest sense of humor. I don't think he's the friendliest person from what I've heard. But he, like I said, he takes his music seriously. He's like one of the greatest guitarists. So when I bought this book, Steve Howe, All My Yesterdays recently, I was looking for, you know, I knew that he was unhappy with Rick Wakeman's speech at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You can see in the footage. But I was, you know, looking forward in the book to see what else he had to say. And I finally did find it. And it was right at the very beginning of the book. So I'll just read a little bit of it. So he went on, he was talking about the other members of Yes giving their little speeches, and him, he had his written down, and he gave a nice little speech. And then he says, "The tables were soon turned upside down. Instead of keeping with the mood of the occasion, in-house comedian Rick Wakeman embarked on a journey of questionable taste that visited places we cared far less about, crude and banal jokes. The teleprompter flashed, 'Get off, time's up,' for several minutes to no avail. The final speech was to have been Scotland Squire's moment to talk about her husband Chris, the bassist that sadly passed away before this induction, with their daughter beside her, but had to be cut as a result of overrunning. Chris had really cared a lot about this particular award, recognizing it as a huge sign of respect from within the industry. As we left the stage, I was thinking how infuriatingly naff and childish this experience had been." And I guess Chris's daughter Scotland said, "What happened?" To which I replied that Rick had gone over, way over, not just the time, but over the limits. And Yes were inducted by Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. Alex Lifeson is another very funny guy. And he did a really hilarious speech at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Blah, 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 blah. But, so you see them in the footage on the side laughing, and you will see Steve. Steve's the gray-haired gentleman on the left-hand side by Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson with a ponytail. He ain't laughing. You know, the few shots of him. But for the most part, even some audience members aren't laughing. Some are kind of confused, I guess, but most are laughing. And so I'll show you the clip if you haven't seen it on Patreon. But like I said, check it out. There should be a link below or somewhere, and we'll talk about it. I would love your thoughts on it on Patreon and YouTube. So there's the very beginning of the speech, and you can see Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, John Anderson, the singer, is starting to give his speech, and Rick Wakeman, the tall guy, he was the keyboardist for Yes, and he's the one that is pretty well known as one of the funniest people in rock and roll music. So we'll skip ahead. And there's Steve Howe giving his serious speech. He's a serious guy. But like I said, and there's Alex and
many people, and some may long for the past
Geddy.
glory, others merely accepting.
But yeah, so he's serious. And then the next one up is Rick Wakeman, and he's not so serious. And he said at the end, please welcome, Chris's wife. And she didn't have, they ran out of time, I guess. And so she didn't do her speech, which is sad. And also, besides Steve Howe looking very awkward and kind of pissed off, if I can say that word, also Chris Squire's wife and his daughter, who looks about, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, you can see, there's that one shot when he's telling these jokes and you can see Chris's daughter there. And it is kind of inappropriate, because, a young girl up on the stage and he's telling these bawdy jokes that are hilarious. They are funny. I mean, first time I saw this, I laughed, I didn't think, but then you hear the backstory and you're thinking, well, Rick, maybe it was inappropriate. I understand. He said in some interview that, most people, they like to thank their parents, their grandmothers, their uncle, their aunt, and it gets really boring. So he spiced it up a bit and had some humor. Some of these people are kind of, stuffy or whatever, and so I can see both sides. I can see the people that think, oh, that was funny, he was hilarious, there was nothing wrong with it, good for Rick. And I can see the other side of it saying that was inappropriate. Maybe the jokes were funny, or maybe the jokes weren't funny at all. It depends on your sense of humor, of course. But they'd say, well, that was just the wrong time to be cracking jokes, especially when Chris Squire's wife is on the stage hoping to, say something. So yeah, I would just love everybody's opinion on if it was appropriate or not. If Steve Howe was in the right for being, pretty upset about it all. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, they certainly enjoyed it. And you could see in the background the other band members, John Anderson, he was laughing, and a few others. And like I said, in the audience, you could see most people were laughing. And so, yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.